awaited Pillars of Eternity just came out. I never finished the first one, although I do plan on it. I didn't know this was being made until recently, but they give me the choice to create my legacy, which I believe has to do with what happened in the first game. So, choose your legacy. What events happened prior to your arrival in Deadfire Archipelago? The Hollowborn Crisis, an infant born without a soul. Interesting. The White March. This is the DLC from the first game that I didn't finish. Sounds interesting. Which events of the Hollowborn Crisis do you wish to establish? You must make a choice for every event listed below before moving on. The Fate of Souls. Oh man, I should have played through the first game. But Battletech came out and it's distracting. Disperse randomly, that sounds like something I would do. Which god did you pledge to? Oh. Oh no. Pledge to 2 gods, why not? Okay, so it'll actually tell me about them. God of entropy, cold winter, bad luck, famine, and natural disasters, manifests as a giant albino aurochs, moving amidst the great blizzard. In the plodding footsteps of Rumagand come death and disintegration. God of hunt, assassins, pursuit, wilderness. I'm not overly interested in that, but this Rumagard sounds cool, so Helea. Sky, maternity, creativity, bird song, invention, and the arts. God of death, cycles, doorways, mortality and inevitability. Keeper of the cycle of life and death, Barath is thought to seek to claim the lives of those who have lived past their time. According to folklore, Barath is seen most often in the form of the Pallid Knight or Usher, 2 skeletal characters who lead such people to their deaths by way of challenge or trickery. Yeah, these 2. So, it seems like it took a little too long to mouse over last time for the other stuff, so I thought maybe... Oh, okay, so Wodika. Disintegrated the souls. Yeah, I guess I'll stick with it randomly. The fate of Theos Ix Arcanon's soul. Banished him. Why the hell not? Merwald's fate. Ooh, absorb his soul for knowledge. That sounds like something I would do. Establish my stance at the Antimancy trial, the science of soul manipulation, a field both controversial and relatively new, banned in some nations like Adir, but permitted in other countries like Direwoods and the Valayan republics. Whoops. Click too quickly. What stance should continue? Defiance Bay faction support. Which faction did you support? Sometimes I play evil, but I like the name of the dozens, and they're not giving me anything else to go on from there, so... Okay, I'm done with the Hollowborn Crisis. Which companion's fate did you just want to decide? Oh man, there's so much. Refuse to sacrifice. Sacrificing for the greater good, I assume, is what they're having me do here. That's probably something I would do. Who did you feed? Let's just complete the legacy. Test. Probably gonna play through this again after I beat Pillars of Eternity 1. Alright, all good. Get out of here. Okay, so new game then. Classic. Level scaling. Classic difficulty is for people who want Deadfire Standard Combat Challenge. Veteran. Who need more enemies and more aggressive enemy tactics to feel challenged. Yep, that sounds like me. Travel Iron Mode. Only one save file is kept. If the party is killed, the file is deleted and you must start again. Can't be changed in game. Expert mode. I might do this later. Probably off camera. I don't want to lose all my progress in a game this long. Expert mode disables a number of helper features in the game. Players who want to rely on their own faculties and intuition while playing the game should play expert mode. This option is selected when you start a new game. It cannot be enabled in the game end, and if disabled, cannot be re-enabled. No, that's fine. Scaling. Scenes will only scale their level upwards to keep pace with players who arrive at a higher level than intended. Never adjusted downwards. Yeah, I don't want shit to get too easy. Although, if certain guys are intended to be outpaced, I'll just let that go for now.
Aora, a world where mortals live, die, and are reborn through the turning of the wheel. The cycle of reincarnation watched over by the gods, and made possible through pillars of a mystical substance known as Audra. 5 years ago, you traveled from your home to the Deerwood, a nation that had waged war against the incarnated god of light, Aethys, resulting in his destruction. The country suffered from a plague of Hollowborn, infants born without souls, that many believed was punishment for killing a god. In an ancient, secluded ruin, you witnessed a secret ritual that inadvertently transformed you into a watcher, one who can see and speak with souls. The ritual also gave you horrible visions, waking nightmares of a past life that threatened your sanity. To put them to rest, you pursued the man who had led the ritual, a seemingly immortal agent of the gods, known as Theos Ix Arcanon. With divine assistance, you confronted and defeated Theos, ending your visions and resolving the Hollowborn crisis. In so doing, you also learned the great secret that Theos had protected. That the ancient empire of Anguith had transformed themselves into gods. Your visions finally put to rest, you retired to the castle of Cadnua, built atop a massive statue of pure Audra, where you ruled in relative peace and prosperity.
Made a nice story. You fixing up that old keep? Lifting the curse? Must have told it 100 times. But something got to gnawing at me. Thinking the spirits there weren't really at rest. That maybe the gods weren't finished with us. My God came back. He would forgive us. Last the trouble with dreams. Sooner or later, we all have to wake up.
And so you wake to a sleepless world, the in-between of life and death. Follow your memories. You have been here before.
Have I now?
You have seen past the shroud. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
A watcher sees souls, knows their pasts, and the souls see them back.
A dubious honor, inheriting a fortress both broken and cursed.
What is a god? A higher power? A rewarder of good deeds and punisher of the wicked?
The gods aren't real, but something else entirely. Something created by people.
And did you ever consider that these were things you were never meant to understand? That their comprehension is beyond you?
Let the world see. Let them decide what to do.
The wheel has turned again, Watcher. Come.
An aged dwarf shares this strange floating platform with you. His face is creased by so many wrinkles that his features lie buried amid shadowy pockets of skin. Still, the dwarf's well-practiced habits have left telltale tracks of a welcoming rictus across his visage. You can see his smile coming before it blooms, reshaping the dwarf's face from a hanging sack of flesh into something resembling an oddly carved, merry gourd, replete with unhealthy bumps and discolored splotches.
Gross.
The creases of the dwarf's face tighten into a smile as he gives you a courteous nod. The creases of the dwarf's face tighten into a smile as he gives you a courteous nod.
Ooh.
Sit, please. Thank you for joining us, Watcher of Cadnua.
The gaunt woman seated at the table is clad in time-worn black armor that seems too massive for her to move in. A pale, slender neck rises from the gorget, topped by a hollow face. The milky skin stretched across it is delicate and translucent, like parchment that has been scraped clean too many times. She is preoccupied with the arrangement of cards on the table between you. With each movement, her armor squeaks and groans as though bearing an incredible weight. She places a final card, gives a nod of satisfaction, and raises her eyes to meet yours.
Your brush with the divine has drained you of your powers, fractured your memories. Look upon these cards. They represent the courses of your life. You alone know best how they flowed. Arrange them to fit what you remember.
Everything bad. Select which history took place during Pillars of Eternity, or select a Pillars of Eternity endgame. Save to import. You wish to create a custom history. Oh, okay. So I didn't need to create one. Fair and balanced, survival of the fittest, dark times, keeper of secrets, everything bad. I usually tend to like a survival of the fittest type of attitude, like kind of a mercenary attitude. But dark times sounds interesting. I don't know what it means though. Keeper of secrets, everything bad. I'll just stick with the one. Oh, okay, it does tell me. In Pillars of Eternity, use the souls of the Hollowborn to strengthen the Deerwood, as you had pledged to Galewin. Most other choices were made to strengthen you and your allies while punishing and weakening your enemies. You consigned the souls of Hollowborn to Oblivion, as you had pledged to Rimagand. Ooh, yeah, he was the god that I thought was interesting. You left a wake of physical destruction and spiritual annihilation wherever you went, seeking to bring final end to all things. Oh man, that's intense. Consign them to Oblivion. Ultimately gave the souls to Wodika, goddess of justice, laws, oaths, promises. You supported the maintaining God's secrets as well as your own. You did everything wrong. You pledged to do the bidding of every god and then scattered the souls of the Hollowborn to a random location. You got every companion killed. You got the worst outcome for every quest. Oh my. If there is a mistake you've made while still resolving the Hollowborn crisis, you made it. Not suggested for new players. Oh, that's interesting. Return them to the wheel. As pledged to Barath. Barath is thought to seek the claim. Okay, that's who that is. He's the guy that kills people who outstays their welcome. Most of our choices were judicious and balanced, tempered only by rational thought and fairness rather than sympathy or emotion. Pledge to Halea. Eternity, creativity, bird song. Okay, that kind and merciful to people you encountered, sympathetic to their pain, and charitable to those who needed help. Well, okay. I'll stick with survival of the fittest then.
Does everything appear to be in order? Good.
Yes.
Welcome to the Beyond. I am Berath. One half, anyway.
She points a finger in the direction of the dwarf who led you here. Though the movement is slight, her gauntlet squeaks like a rusty hinge.
It's kind of interesting. I didn't play the first game. I was like maybe 10 hours in before something else caught my attention. But I don't remember there being a narrator. I think that's kind of cool. It really adds to the immersion.
The dwarf's rictus returns as he nods in the woman's direction.
Tell me, do you remember when we last met?
I don't remember.
She places a card on the table, showing a tall tower. The gods' constellations are arrayed around it in the sky. You remember now. The Hall of Stars in Twin Elms, where you spoke with the gods.
You came to that tower seeking our aid. You chose to pledge your services to other gods. Still, a pledge unmade stands fairer in this court than a pledge broken.
She places a card in the middle of the arrangement. A bell tower with no bell. Her fingertips slowly drag away from the card, faintly creaking as they retreat across the table.
This narrator does a much better job than I think I would be doing.
You had need of the gods once before. Now it seems we have need of you. The being that occupied Odnua's statue beneath your castle was the dead god, Aothus. Of this we are certain. What we do not know is what his intentions are. Though Aothus stole a large fragment of your soul, you were strong enough to survive the onslaught and enter the in-between.
Refers to the shadow world that souls briefly wander after death on their way to the beyond. It has been described as a hazy landscape, empty, but for the glow of other souls, Adra and Watchers. This is the space that Watchers peer into when they observe and speak to lost souls and soul fragments. Even the gods cannot reach it. Interesting.
You and he are still connected. He has chosen a body made of living Adra, perfused with the power of thousands of souls, including yours. It should be little difficulty for an experienced Watcher to find him.
Am I dead?
No. But neither is your body truly alive. Your lungs draw breath, your heart pumps blood, but your flesh is as soulless as a hollowborn. That is, until I return you.
Okay.
She delicately places a card upright on the table. The art depicts souls flowing out of a pillar of Adra.
Well, I'd like to find him as much as you would. He destroyed my castle and killed who knows how many people around it.
It is my business to know. 322 in Cadnua and your surrounding lands. Their souls remain in Aothus still. You have the power to save them. Serve me and I will return you to your body. Or don't, and return to the wheel. Good.
Let's get on with it.
Before you return to Aora as my herald, you must remember who you were, the last whisper of life in death.
For a moment, the sockets of her eyes darken, leaving the pits of a death's head gazing out at you.
When you can picture your own face, the Beyond will lead you back to your own kind, to the world of mortals.
Okay, I will try and create a character similar to what I did last time. A woman's role in Aora is largely dependent on where she is from. In all societies, there are exceptions to the rule, and women can be found in a wide variety of stations and professions. Okay. Orlans are the smallest of the Kith races. I think I was an elf. Because I usually like to play a ranged character in situations like this. Okay, so this is like the mighty are... Though not truly aquatic, they have affinity for water in many of their civilizations. Yeah, okay, so we'll stick with elf. Would elves trace their beginnings as far north as present-day Adir? I already forget how to say that. And have migrated south through the forests and jungles of the continent. Much of their history is connected with the meadowfolk, and they are often found in the same lands. Dexterity and perception. Eagle-eyed, oblivious. Interesting. Character's action speed with all attack spells, abilities. Contributes to reflex defense. And accuracy. Dexterity, perception. So it sounds like it's the same. Natural resistance towards dexterity afflictions. Give them inherent resistance to burn and freeze. I'll just go with wood. Would you like to make a single class or a multi-class? Single class characters are entirely focused on their chosen class. They gain access to higher level powers more quickly. Multi-class characters can select powers from two classes, but gain access to higher level powers more slowly and cannot access their class's highest level powers. Single, why not? At least I think. Rangers are warriors. The woodlands and masters of the hunt always partnered with a soul-bonded animal. Yes, this is what I chose last time. And I would like to stick with it because it was an interesting build, I thought. As their lifestyles often tend towards independence and isolation, so they're rare for rangers to become an integral part of a large fighting force, so they are often employed as scouts and guides. Choose to have no subclass and therefore incur neither additional class benefits or penalties. Immune to bonded grief. When one is wounded, they can sense it and feel intense emotional pain. If a ranger or animal companions are knocked unconscious, the partner suffers from bonded grief. Alright, interesting. Penalty: must actively summon an animal companion during battle. Bonus to hit and crit conversion. Bonus penetration, slower recovery time. Amount of time it sends between actions, lower deflection. Gain bonus deflection and armor rating within 4 meters of each other. They are more than 7 meters, so that's an interesting. I like that. Wounding shots. Aims for a spot that will leave trail to track, inflicting raw damage over time. Designates a single target as prey, giving ranger and animal companion an accuracy bonus against that target. Range 20 meters. Noise is quiet. I like that. And I had a bear because I wanted a tank. They have an unusually high armor rating, giving them superior protection from most forms of damage. All rangers form a strong spiritual connection with a single creature, their animal companion. This connection allows rangers and their companions to coordinate attacks and efficiently take down their prey. In most situations, the companion runs interference while the ranger attacks at range. Despite these advantages, there are risks to the relationship. Rangers are a little life... Oh, no, okay, I already read that. If a ranger... Alright. Affects the accuracy and other stats until the downed ally is revived. I will name him Darwin, like my dog. Oh, alright, so... Recommended for Ranger, highly recommended for Ranger. Interesting. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 1, 2. Intellect. Come on, mouse over. It contributes to will, defense, and influences durations and areas of effect for all abilities. Compare that to dexterity. Let's go with intellect, and we'll actually go a little lower on dexterity because I plan to use my bear to take most of the brunt. Damage and healing, might. Alright, so that's good. Where am I from? +1 to resolve. Hostile effect durations, as well as improving will. Improve dexterity a little bit more. Resolve. Intellect. Constitution. Might. Perception. So, might and perception are very important. Contributes to accuracy in the reflex defense. Yeah, let's go with perception. So that was the white that wins. A large cracked southern expanse of polar ice, the white that wends is home to pale elves and small colonies of daring explorers, outcasts, and adventurers. While virtually no plant life grows in the white, it's home to many hardy species of dangerous animals that forage from the sea or prey upon each other to survive. Interesting. Which one was my job? Streetwise bluff? Sounds like someone I would like. Athletics. What does athletics give me? Come on, tooltip. Survival can be used in conversations and scripted interactions that involve wilderness challenges. Mechanics. Alchemy. Survival, diplomacy, accuracy, in history. Broad skill. Drifter, sleight of hand. Oh man. It's a lot of shit. I think merchant, streetwise, bluff, and diplomacy. Available weapon types. Rapid shots. Warbow overdraw. Accuracy versus deflection. 13 to 19, 14 to 24. Penetration 6. Penetration 8, range 12 meters. Range 12 meters. 10% of hits converted to crits. Interesting. Unfit for melee. Accurate. Extremely populated in Deerwood. They're used most frequently for hunting deer and small game. Hunting bows can be deadly against two-legged prey. Hunting bows lack the high draw weight of war bows, but can be fired more quickly. Firearms. Oh man. Pistol rapid shot, blunderbuss, aimed shot, -5 ranged accuracy, blunted criticals, unfit for melee, blunted criticals. Character who's not proficient in a weapon only loses access to the associated modal ability. Pistol sounds interesting to me. It can be reloaded much more quickly. As with all firearms, pistols have the ability to harm enemies protected by the veil, including spirits and wizard arcane veils. Alright, yeah, pistol sounds good. And dagger is accurate. Battle axe. I think a dagger fits more the style that I'm going for. Okay. Yeah, that kind of looks like her. So many choices. It's kind of cool. I like her head thing. Wait, where'd that original one go? I'll just stick with that. Colors. Oh, we can change it. Okay, I'm gonna play with this for a bit. Okay, that about covers it.